Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Homage to our most venerable teacher Bhante, Pinat Loku Swamin Wahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. So we are happy that today also we have met to talk about the life of the Buddha based on the beautiful book written by our Pinat Loku Swamin Wahanse named Acharya Manu. So you have the translation. The marvelous sage. If you remember, we talked about his enlightenment, the Supreme Buddha's great enlightenment. And then now he is ready to set in motion the wheel of Dhamma. Do you remember? And then he was looking for something, looking for someone else to preach his excellent Dhamma. And then with his divine eye, he noticed that he wanted to share his Dhamma with two people. If you remember, you can share your knowledge with me. Who are the two people that Buddha wanted to preach first? My question is for Auki Gauri and Ridmi.
ආලාර කාලාමන් උද්දකරාම් පුත්ත
Very good. Buddha wanted to preach his Dhamma first to Alara Kalama. But unfortunately, Alara Kalama missed the opportunity because Dehan, because of what?
Because Allah Kalama died 7 days ago.
Alara Kalama died 7 days ago. That was very unfortunate. He missed the opportunity and he was reborn in a faraway world, faraway Brahma world, and he doesn't hear the Dhamma when the Buddha was preaching. And then the second person that Buddha wanted to preach his Dhamma was Dima.
Is it Misarwat, sir? I didn't hear. Uddakarama sir.
Uddakarama, but even unfortunately, he missed the opportunity too because Senon?
Because he passed away 7 days ago.
No, he passed away. Kamit? He passed away?
He passed away last night.
He passed away the previous night. Okay, you're right, Putit. 7 days ago, Alar Kalama passed away, but Uddakaramput last night he passed away. Good memories. Anyways, they lost the opportunity. Now, Buddha was looking for someone else to preach his excellent Dhamma to understand. Now he noticed that there are 5 people very supportive to himself when he was striving in the forest for 6 years. And those 5 people were very excited to listen to the Dhamma after his enlightenment, after the Supreme Buddha's enlightenment. They were looking forward to listening to the excellent Dhamma, but they were what is it called, discouraged. They lost their wishes, and they did not get the excellent Dhamma from the Buddha because they believed that the Buddha stopped his striving and he stopped the idea to become enlightened because he started eating. He stopped his austere practices. Then the 5 ascetics or 5 monks or 5 groups of monks they left the Buddha. So now Buddha alone, he was able to get enlightened, and now he is ready to preach the Dhamma to the 5 months. Now he is going to the 5 months to set in motion the wheel of Dhamma. From then, so from that moment, we will go forward from today's episode with our. I have something to share today too with you. So our Pinnat Loku Swamin Wahanse shares something very interesting in the book about the noble friend. Who are the noble friends? The noble friends are the friends that shares the true Dhamma of the Blessed One. They are very helpful to you to learn about the Dhamma, to practice. They encourage you all the time. They are very helpful. They are called the noble friends. So in the book, the Lukusami Namaste talks about the noble friends from the original things. So I have this to share with you about noble friend as he was talking about. So the first chance gets Dinu Daham.
My son, sir.
Do you remember the picture?
My son, sir.
What is it?
All the kids were listening to a Dhamma Deshana when Loku Swaminatha came to Toronto.
Okay, this is Toronto Monastery. Are you here too?
My son, sir.
Which one?
I'm the one in the bottom corner.
Yes. Excellent. How about Kemi? Are you here too?
Sometimes I don't think I was here at that time.
Oh, it's a long ago. Okay. Okay, they know your chance.
My son, sir. The noble friend. Considering external factors, monks, I do not see a single factor that is very beneficial as good. Good friends. Association with good friends leads to great good.
Good. Thank you for your reading. Association with good friends leads to great good. Okay, this is what the Buddha says about noble friends. Okay, and as an external factor, which is like we have many things in the world, money or whatever we have here, but among them, the best is the noble friend because they share the correct Dhamma of the Blessed One with you. And among external things, all of things, maybe the money, maybe the gold, maybe the countries, maybe the people all around in the world, the best thing, the best person is the noble friend. Because without the noble friend, we have nothing in this world. We have nothing to practice, and we have nothing which is beneficial. Right? The best thing, the foremost thing is the noble friend we have as the external thing. What about the internal thing? The next part is for Yenuke. What about the next part to read? Are you ready? Oh yes, this is the internal factor.
Among internal factors, monks, I do not see even a single factor that leads to such great good as wise consideration. Considering wisely, according to the teachings of the Buddha, leads to great good.
Very good, thank you. Well, what was the best thing internally as the Buddha explained? Kavini, what was that? That was wise consideration. In Pali, you might have heard Yoniso Manasikara. Yoniso Manasikara is the way of thinking according to the Dhamma, not according to anything else. We think about the Dhamma and we behave like that. which is called Yoniso Manasikara. Thank you for your reading. And then one day, our Ananda Bhante, Venerable Ananda Bhante, came to the Supreme Buddha, questioned something really beautiful. And Lukaswami talks about that incident too in the book, and I have here to share. And then I give this chance to Tuini or Tinuli. What about your reading?
In my Swami Bhante.
Good. And speak a little loud, huh?
Okay. Venerable Sir, this is half of the holy life. That is good friendship, good companionship, good comradeship. Not so Ananda, not so Ananda. This is the entire holy life. Ananda, that is good friendship, good companionship, and good comradeship. When Bhikkhu has a good friend, a good companion, and a good comrade, it is to be expected that he will develop and cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Is that clear that the Venerable Ananda Bhante questioned the Buddha? He said, the half of the dispensation is for the noble friends, the good friends, and then half for the other thing maybe. And then the Buddha said, no, it's wrong, Ananda. Do not say that again. Do not say that again. The entire holy life, Ananda, that is good friendship, good companionship, good camaraderie. When a bhikkhu has a good friend, a good companion, it is to be expected that he will develop and cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, the entire dispensation, entire practice, entire Dhamma you have is on because of the noble friend, because of the Kalyana Mitta, because of the good friend, because of the Buddha, because of the Bhantes you have to share the Dhamma. And then Buddha says something more about this. And then this is for Peter.
By relying upon me as a good friend, Ananda, being subject to birth are freed from birth, being subject to aging are freed from aging, being subject to death are freed from death, being subject to sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure, and despair are freed from sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure, and despair. By this method, Ananda, it may be understood how the entire holy life is good friendship, good companionship, good comradeship.
Sadhu, sadhu. So by this text, maybe you understand that the best noble friend is hero that we have is the best friend we have.
The best and the best friend is our good friends like Kalyana.
Good friend. Yeah. Who is the best friend we have here? The Buddha. The Buddha is the best friend we have, the best companion, the best Kalyana Mitta. So he explains about himself, by relying upon me, when you believe the Buddha as the good friend Ananda, being subject to birth are freed from birth. What do you understand by this? So by going for refuge to the Buddha, believing the Buddha, we get enlightened and we get the freedom from suffering. Subject to aging, they are freed from aging, being subject to death. They are freed from death, which is like they achieve Nibbana. They achieve the freedom from suffering, freedom from all suffering, lamentation, pain, despair. By this method, Ananda, it may be understood how the entire holy life is good friendship, good companionship, good comradeship. Good. And then now the Kalyana Mitta, the best noble friend is in the world, the Buddha. And then the Buddha is about to preach the Dhamma. Now he is going to preach his noble Dhamma to 5 monks. This is the part that we can share with you. Chamudi, your chance to read read about the 5 ascetics or 5 monks. Chamudi, are you here? Turning the wheel of Dhamma, the Buddha with his divine eye sees the 5 monks.
I considered thus, to whom should I first teach the Dhamma? Who will understand this Dhamma quickly? It then occurred to me, the bhikkhus of the group of 5 who attended upon me, I was engaged in my striving, were very helpful. Suppose I taught the Dhamma first to them.
Sadhu, sadhu. See, the Buddha is really grateful. He is really grateful. And he remembered the 5 monks. They were really supportive. They were like really excited, looking forward to listen to the Dhamma from the Buddha. Now the Buddha is there. And then, okay, remember the 5 monks are the picture. They are not paying their attention. They are like sitting not in a proper way, right? They are not sitting properly. They are not paying their attention to the Buddha. Remember why? Okay, maybe we can talk about this a little bit later. Okay, and then the next part is for okay, Kemet. The deer park at Isipatana in Benares.
Then I thought, where are the bhikkhus of the group of 5 now living? And with the divine eye, which is purified and surpasses the human, I saw that they were living at Benares in the deer park at Isipatana.
Okay, Benares. Sadhu, sadhu. Beautiful reading. Benares at Isipatana, very far from the Bodhi tree, very far from Gaya. Remember, the Buddha was enlightened seated under the Bodhi tree, but Benares is very far, about 108 kilometers away from the Bodhi tree, from Gaya. See, this is Isipatana. Isipatana. This is the picture of Isipatana Megadaya in India. If you have visited this place, it's a wonderful place. Huh? This is Bodh Gaya. See, about maybe 180 kilometers. Buddha walks to Isipatana for 7 days. He got 7 days to walk from here to here, Isipatana, out of compassion. See. This is a part of the Indian map. Savatthi. Savatthi is the most famous place that we see in the teachings. The Buddha was staying there. Kosala. The kingdom was Kosala. And Isipatana is also in the Kosala country. Bodh Gaya. This is Magadha. Rajagaha or maybe Rajagaha. And this is Ganges, the river. Okay. Varanasi, Varanasi or Varanasi. When you pronounce it in English, maybe you say Benares or something. Peter, how do you pronounce this word?
Benar, I'm not sure. Benares.
Benares. Benares. In Pali, Varanasi or Varanasi. Or in my language, Sinhalese, we say Varanasi. Varanasi. Good knowledge. Savatthi. Lumbini, the birthplace of the Buddha. Sakyan country. Himalayas. Kusinagar or Kusinara, Vesali or Vaishali or Vishala. Okay, good. Now the Buddha is walking to Isipatana to meet 5 ascetics or 5 monks. On the way, he meets a person who is really interested in looking at the Buddha. Who is this guy? If you have this knowledge, Now the Buddha is walking to meet 5 ascetics. On the way, he meets Heru, who was fortunate to meet the Buddha on the way. Minupa, Diana, Subodha.
Godsak?
Who is that?
Godsak?
Bodhisattva?
No, science. Godsak.
Godsak. No, Pute, no.
Ajivaka Upasaka.
Ajivaka Upasaka. You are close, but it's not the perfect way that you can pronounce the word. Okay, Hero, your chance is to read the next part. See.
Wanderer Ajivaka.
Pardon me?
Wanderer Ajivaka.
Wanderer Ajivaka. Okay, you might understand. Hero, your chance.
Meeting Ajivaka Upaka. Then because when I had stayed at Uruvela as long as I chose, I set out to wander by stages to Benares. Between Gaya and the place of enlightenment, the Ajivaka saw me on foot and said, "Friend, your faculties are clear, the color of your skin is pure and bright. Under whom have you gone forth, friend? Who is your teacher? Whose Dhamma do you profess?"
Very good. Very good. Thank you for your reading. Then who meets the Buddha on the way?
Ajivaka
Ajivaka Upaka. Ajivaka Upaka. Upaka Ajivaka. And he's not a monk. Anyways, he is an ascetic. And he lives in the forest maybe. On the way, he meets the Buddha, and then he was excited. And he comes to the Supreme Buddha and says, "Your face is very beautiful, calm and serene. Who are you? Who is your teacher?" That's the beautiful question, huh? Who is your teacher? Whose Dhamma do you profess? And then Subodha, what about your reading, the next part? The Buddha says about himself in a gatha, okay, in stanzas.
I replied to the Ajivaka in stanzas. I am one who has surpassed all, a knower of all, pure among all things, renouncing all, by craving ceasing, freed. Having known this all for myself, to whom should I point as teacher?
Who is Buddha's teacher?
The Dhamma.
His Dhamma. And then he says he has no teacher. For himself, to whom should I point as a teacher? Okay, that's how the Buddha responded. Upaka Ajivaka. Okay, and then we have more gathas. The next gatha is for Dhyana. See the beautiful picture? The Buddha's picture is beautiful, huh? Yes.
I have no teacher, and no one like me exists. No here in the world with all its God, because I have no person for my equal.
Sadhu, sadhu. So I have no person equal to me in the world. I have no teacher, which means he has no teacher. So that's why he appointed his Dhamma as his teacher. Senila, after a long time you're here.
Would you like me to read, Bante?
Next part, yes.
I am the accomplished one in the world. I am the teacher supreme. I alone am a fully enlightened one whose fires are quenched and extinguished.
Sadhu, sadhu. To whom he is talking like this? Senila, again.
Was it that Upaka?
Upaka.
Yeah, Upaka Ajiva, I think.
Ajivaka is the ascetic. Upaka is his name. It's an interesting story, though. We can talk about that too. Okay. Kevin and Laura. Maybe Kevin. He is still talking to Upaka like this.
Now I go to the city of Kasi to set in motion the wheel of Dhamma.
In a world that has become blind, I go beat the drum of the deathless.
Good. In a world that has become blind, this world is blind and they have no Dhamma. I go to beat the drum of the deathless. Does he have a drum in his hand? To beat?
The drum is the Dhamma.
Down, yes, the drum of the Dhamma. Beating is like preaching or setting in motion. He is going to Kasi to meet 5 ascetics. So the Upaka was really happy about this, and he says, who is this? Goshini Medavi? Am I right?
Yes, Swaminathan.
Yes.
Then the Ajivaka Upaka responded to the Blessed One, by your claims, friend, you ought to be the universal victor, Ananta Jina.
Ananta Jina. Again?
Ananta Jina.
Ananta Jina. Ananta means the infinite. Jina is the victor. You are the universal victor. He says he is happy, but unfortunately, he is not ready to listen to the Dhamma from the Buddha. It's not the perfect time, actually. The Buddha is not ready to preach his Dhamma to Upaka. He's going to 5 ascetics. Minupa. Buddha says like this.
The victors are those like me who have won the destruction of defilements. I have defeated all evil states. Therefore, Upaka, I am truly a victor. Ananta Jina.
I am truly a victor, Ananta Jina. Ananta Jina. I want you to remember this Pali word, Ananta Jina. It's a beautiful word. Beautiful reading. Truly a victor. Universal victor. Okay. Oh yes, Devindu is here today. I give this chance. So Ananta Jina, when he says Ananta Jina to the Buddha, he leaves. No, this part, yeah.
Okay. When this was said, the Ajiva Upaka said, "May it be so, friend." Shaking his head, he took a bypath and departed. Even though he did not show complete acceptance of what the Buddha said, Upaka appeared to have gone away with a certain amount of faith in the Buddha.
Yes, thank you for the reading. So Upaka is not ready to listen. Maybe he is a little faithful now on the Buddha to look at his face, the serenity and everything, but he leaves. He loses the opportunity. He's an unfortunate guy. He is unfortunate at the moment, but he goes to far away place in a forest to a maybe to indigenous people live, a village, and he marries to Chapa. Oh, this is a beautiful story. Maybe we will read Devanga, your chance.
And my son, not long after the incident on the road to Benares with the Buddha, Upaka married Kappa, a hunter's daughter, making his living selling the meat his father-in-law, the hunter, killed. Kappa, who apparently admired Upaka as long as he had been an Aztec, began to despise him for having been entrapped by her and endlessly ridiculed him.
Sadhu, sadhu. So this is a postal stamp in Sri Lanka. It's a beautiful picture. I got this online. Huh? So Chapa, this name is pronounced as Chapa, okay? Upaka. Now Upaka lives to a faraway village. The indigenous people live, and then the leader of that village was the chief attendant of Upaka as the ascetic, and he treats him. He gives dane, he makes his kuti, the shelter, and everything. One day, this headman of the family, he's headman of the village. He leaves the village to a faraway village, and he appoints his daughter to take care of this ascetic Upaka. Upaka goes to this house for alms food, and he looks at this beautiful girl, the indigenous girl, and he wanted to marry. Giving up his ascetic life, he wanted to marry this beautiful girl. And he goes to his kuti bag. Kuti is the shelter. And he, without eating, without sleeping, without drinking, he was thinking about this beautiful girl. And the headman of the village comes and questions, why? Why are you sleeping like this without eating, drinking? And he says, if I will not get Chapa, the beautiful girl, I will die. Out of compassion, that headman gives Chapa in marriage to Upaka. And they married together. But, unfortunately, Upaka does not know anything to make his money, make his living. He is not capable to hunt. They are the hunters. They hunt animals and then they sell meat in the village. And then the job that he was given was carrying the meat behind the headman of the village. He carries the meat of the animals to the village and they sell, and they come back. And then the Chapa was insulting Upaka. He's like nothing. He's good for nothing or something. When she was lulling Chapa, lulling the baby, insulting, she says, song, he sings songs or something. Upaka was very upset about this. And he says, I will leave this village. I will leave this family. And then Chapa questions, where are you going? Where are you going? Now, again, Tinoli gets the chance to read next part. Next part is about Upaka goes to meet the Buddha, and he was very fortunate. Maybe Dinara.
Because of that, even though they had a son, he became tired of the household life and left. Making his way to Savatthi, found the Buddha and entered the order. Practicing the Buddha's teachings, he gained the stage of once returner, the Anaga.
Sadhu, sadhu. He goes to meet the Buddha, but this is a different story. But now the Buddha is still going to Benares. This is the story about Upaka, and he as an ascetic, he lives and marries to Chapa, and later on he was upset about his marriage life and comes to the Buddha, gets his ordination, and becomes Anagami, and he passed away into the Brahma world, and he gets the full enlightenment there and passed into final Nibbana there. And then what happens to Chapa and his son, if you guess? Okay, Tuvini is here to read that.
Chapa, his wife with her son, followed her husband to Savatthi, and likewise gone forth into the homeless life. They became arhants.
Sadhu, sadhu. Chapa and his son, they were very fortunate. They went to the Supreme Buddha, gets their ordination, and becomes enlightened. Beautiful people. Huh? Okay, the Buddha is still walking to Benares to preach Dhamma to these 5 ascetics. Aga, your reading.
Then, wandering by stages, I eventually came to Benares, to the deer park at Isipatana, and I approached the bhikkhus of the group of 5. The bhikkhus saw me coming in the distance, and they agreed among themselves thus: "Friends, here comes the recluse Gautama, who lives luxuriously, who gave up his striving and reverted to luxury."
Sadhu, sadhu, for beautiful reading. I rejoice in the good mind. So when he was striving, the Bodhisattva in the forest, you see the picture. 5 monks are also sitting by, meditating, very helpful. And then maybe we will read the next part. Dulina, do you hear me?
Then, wandering by stages, I eventually came to Ben.
This part for the.
My sensei.
Yes.
We should not pay homage to him, or rise up for him, or receive his bowl and outer robe, but a seat may be prepared for him. If he likes, he may sit down. However, as I approached, those bhikkhus found themselves unable to keep their pact. One came to meet me and took my bowl and outer robe. Another prepared a seat, and another set out water for my feet. However, they addressed me by name and as friend.
Good reading, sadhu, sadhu. So see, the Mahabodhisattva gave up his eating and he gave up his austere practice and started eating. See the picture? So he started eating. And then looking at this incident, 5 ascetics are leaving. It's worthless to staying here. So the Siddhartha Gautama, Siddhartha Bodhisattva gave up his austere practices and he gave up the enlightenment, and it's nothing to stay here. We live. They left. They are leaving, saying goodbye to him. But they did not believe that the Siddhartha will become the Buddha. And then now the Buddha is coming towards them to preach the Dhamma. They do not still believe that the Buddha is coming. He is now has a very peaceful face, and then he is very luxurious look. Now they say that the Siddhartha is coming. Siddhartha Gautama is coming to us, letting go of his enlightenment. Because of his, he was born in a clan's family, the royal family, we will respect him, not as a Buddha, not as the enlightened one. The Buddha is coming now. And they were talking about like this. Anyways, they gave up their ideas. I give this chance to Sinon to read the next part. The next is this. Again, you see the picture that they are not paying attention to the Buddha. Okay, Shannon, see the picture. In the picture, the 5 monks are not paying attention to the Buddha. Why? They do not still believe that this is Buddha. He is not enlightened, they believe. Okay, Shannon.
Thereupon I told them, Bhikkhus, do not address the Tathagata by name and as friend. The Tathagata is an accomplished one, a fully enlightened one. Listen, Bhikkhus, the deathless has been attained. I shall instruct you. I shall teach you the Dhamma.
Sadhu, sadhu for your beautiful reading. Huh? So, Buddha said, do not address me as friend. I am the self-enlightened Buddha. I am the enlightened one. Listen to me, I will preach the Dhamma. Do not call me friend. Do not call me Auso. Okay? I am the Buddha says. That's why they are like confused. You see that? They are not paying attention, sitting as like disrespectful way maybe. But Imasha Pereira. If you like, you can read this.
Practicing as you are instructed, by realizing for yourselves here and now. Through direct knowledge, you will soon enter upon and abide in that supreme goal of the holy life, for the sake of which clansmen rightly go forth from the home life into homelessness.
Sadhu, sadhu. So that's how the Buddha introduced his Dhamma. So still they are like sitting in a, not in a proper way. Okay, Minupa.
My son answer. When this was said, I told them that the Tathagata does not live luxuriously, nor has he given up his striving and reverted to luxury. The Tathagata is an accomplished one, a fully enlightened one. Listen, bhikkhus, the deathless has been attained. I shall instruct you, I shall teach you the Dhamma, practicing as you are instructed, by realizing for yourselves here and now, through direct knowledge, you will soon enter upon and abide in that supreme goal of the holy life, for the sake of which clansmen rightly go forth from the home life into homelessness.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So the Tathagata does not live luxuriously, nor has he given up the striving and reverted to the luxury. The Tathagata is an accomplished one, a fully enlightened one. Listen, because the deathless, which is the Nibbana, has been attained. Listen to me, I will preach them, he says. When this was said, Duvin, you hear me?
A second time, the bhikkhus of the group of 5 said to me, Friend Gautama. A third time, the bhikkhus of the group of 5 said to me, Friend Gautama, how will you have achieved any superhuman states, any distinction in knowledge, and vision worthy of the noble ones?
Sadhu, sadhu. Still they do not believe. They are not ready to listen to the Buddha. They are not paying their attention. They question, but they have a respect because the Buddha was born to a royal family. They still do not believe this is the Buddha. Out of his compassion, he has come to us to preach. They do not believe. My question, who are these 5 monks? Raise your hands and I give the chance. Who are these 5 monks? Okay. 4 participants, 5. Okay, Hero.
Kondanya Vappa Bhatiya Mahana Masaji.
Beautiful. Kondanya Vappa Bhatiya Mahana Masaji. Now, the great opportunity. Laura and Kevin, your chance to read the next part. Yep.
When this was said, I asked them, Bhikkhus, have you ever known me to speak like this before? No, venerable sir. Bhikkhus, the Tathagata is an accomplished one, a fully enlightened one. Listen, Bhikkhus, the deathless has been attained. I shall instruct you. I shall teach you the Dhamma, practicing as you are instructed by realizing for yourself here and now. Through direct knowledge, you will soon enter upon abide in that supreme goal of the holy life, for the sake of which clansmen rightly go forth from the home life into homeless.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So now the Buddha says that this is the Dhamma that I can preach you. You can pay your attention and understand. Very good. Now, still we did not come to the first sermon, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the first sermon of the Buddha. Now he is about to preach the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. If you summarize the stories that we learned today, what was the first incident? So the Buddha is on the way to Benares to preach Dhamma. On the way, he meets who? Sandesh. What was the name? What was the name of the ascetic he met on the way?
Uh, 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 um,
Dinudam.
Sons, is it Ajivakapaka?
Oh yes. Who is that?
The ascetic that the Supreme Buddha met.
Yeah. What was the name?
Ajivakapaka.
Ajivaka. Oh yes. I want you to remember the name. Okay, Sandesh. Ajivaka Upaka. Ajivaka is the ascetic. Okay, Upaka was his name. Do you remember the beautiful story of Upaka? He was happy about the serenity of the Supreme Buddha, but he is not ready to listen to the Dhamma. Why? He is not the person to listen to the first Dhamma of the Buddha. He has no merit, maybe. He leaves to a faraway village and marries to indigenous girl, Dima. Huh? And then he was upset about his marriage life, and he now is ready to come to the Supreme Buddha to listen. Huh? And then he was fortunate, and he leaves his family, his wife Chapa and his son, and he comes to the Supreme Buddha and becomes a monk and attains the third stage of enlightenment, Anagami. He passed away and was born to the Brahma world, and he gets the final Nibbana, Arahantship there. And Chapa and her son comes to the Supreme Buddha to become monk, nuns actually, monk and nun. And they were fortunate to understand the Dhamma. The small Bhante also becomes Arahant, and Chapa also gets Arahant. Okay, and then Gauri and Ridhmi. My question is for you: why the five ascetics were not ready to listen to the Dhamma of the Buddha? Okay, and Nirvan and Nirvan.
They didn't believe the Buddha was enlightened.
Very good. Why?
They give up. He gave up.
He gave up.
He gave up earlier, maybe.
He gave up earlier.
He gave up his striving, huh? Yes. He started eating. And the five ascetics believe that the only way for Nibbana is giving suffering to the life. Without eating, without sleeping, without drinking, someone can get enlightened. And Buddha was close to that. The Siddhartha was close to the Nibbana, and he gave up because he started eating. That's what they believe. That's why they did not want to listen. Finally, the Buddha says what? Huh? He says, I have not, yeah. Okay, everybody. So I think we have learned many things about our Supreme Buddha, the supremely enlightened Buddha today. I think it's interesting, eh? Did you learn a lot?
My answer.
Very good. Okay. What was the name Upaka called the Buddha?
The victor,
Upaka, how did he call the Buddha?
the universal victor.
Friend.
Universal victor, yeah, the translation. In Pali?
Anantajina.
Anantajina. Anantajina. Jina is the victor. Ananta is the infinite actually. The universal victor. The Buddha is truly a universal victor. May our homage to the universal victor, the Supreme Buddha. Sadhu.